I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge Allah Akyam, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is the brother Shabai from the GMS Denver camp, and I'm going to go in on Isaiah the 42nd chapter, starting at the top. It says, "Behold, my servant whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles." Okay, so the elect, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, delights in the souls of the elect. And he puts the spirit, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai put their spirit on us. All right, to do this work, we're in our right mindset. Why? Because we're in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, which is a different spirit, contrary to the spirit of this world, right? Even the spirit of pagan Christianity, if you're in a pagan Christianity spirit, you're not in the right spirit, right? But the ones who are in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that's who is going to, it says right here, he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles, right? Because we're showing, and this is talking about the Gentiles, actually all the Gentiles, even the heathen Gentiles, because they're going to get their judgment. But so are the 2/3, the Gentiles of Israel, okay? So let me, let me go to Matthew. But it starts out with his prophets, him setting up his prophets is bringing forth judgment to you, because now you're accountable. Because his word is going out through the whole entire earth, the uttermost part of the earth. And his word is reaching, every nation, every country. It's all over YouTube, flooding the internet. So you don't have no cover. You don't have no excuse as an Israelite. Okay, so that's going to bring judgment on you. Because because you fail to take heed. You fail to, repent. Okay, this is Matthew 19, because his men have he set up his men, and we're telling you the true names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We're telling you the laws of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that we should keep to the best of our ability. But our people are stiff-necked, hard-headed children. They don't listen. It says here in Matthew 19 and 28, it says, "And Yahushai said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel." All right. So our people are in that Tupac spirit, right? Oh, only God can judge me. They don't realize that the Most High has set up judges on the earth. All right. Let's back that up in Psalms 2 and 10. It says, "Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth." Okay? So the Most High has set up his judges, and his true judges, they're not Esau's judges that you go see at the courthouse. No, the judges of Yahweh, the judges of the earth, who are the judges of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, are the elect men that he's put his spirit on us, and we're telling you what it is, okay? And it's according to knowledge and understanding. It's not according to lies that your fathers have inherited. It says in the scriptures, our fathers have inherited lies. All right? So let's go back to Isaiah 42nd chapter. Verse 2, "He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail nor be discouraged till he have set judgment in the earth, and the isles shall wait for his law. Right? So Yahweh, you listen, he's sealing the elect by way of his, the prophecies being fulfilled. He sets up his prophets. We're commanded, we have that breath of life put in us, meaning the understanding of the scriptures. We're set up to go out there and teach, rebuke, show our people their transgressions, and also like it says here, wait for his law. You're going to learn the law of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai through his men, right? And we got this understanding of, and we understand all of the scriptures because why? Because what his son Yahweh Shai did for us by going up on that cross, it enabled, or it activated, the Spirit, the Comforter, which he sent, that has given us, the knowledge. Otherwise, we would still be in pagan Christianity, or we'd still, be walking around as calling ourselves Jehovah's Witnesses or Catholics, or whatever false doctrines we were in prior to our awakening. It says in verse 5, thus saith the Most High, Yahweh, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and the spirit to them that walk therein. And what's that spirit? It's the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which is, like I said earlier, it's an entirely different spirit than the spirit of pagan Christianity, or the spirit that you get from Cracker Jesus, right? That love everybody type spirit, which that's not biblical. The Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, he does not love everybody, contrary to the pagan Christian belief, okay? And we can easily prove that in the scriptures. And giving that breath unto the people upon it, that's going into the understanding, okay? Right? All you got to do is think about Ezekiel 37, where it talks about how the breath of life was breathed upon the dry bones. The dry bones were the nation of Israel, but once that breath was put on us, we had that spirit of life in us. We had the understanding. This is what brings the true understanding. The true life is getting this understanding. All right, because like I say, if you're still in pagan Christianity, you don't have life. Those type of religions, they're going to profit you nothing. All right, because there's no life in that. You don't have the breath. You're actually the congregation of the dead. Okay. All right. So it says in verse 6, I Yahweh have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. Okay. So Yahweh is going to hold the hand of the elect. He's going to guide us. He's going to, he's with us always. Right? And it's his will to do that for the elect. If you're the elect, if your spirit is the spirit of the elect, it's been preordained, and there's nothing you can do to not be the elect. Okay? If the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has written your name in the book of life, and has ordained your spirit as a spirit of the elect, you're locked in as the elect. Okay? And it's been since before the foundations of the earth, right? As it tells you in Ephesians, the 1st chapter. Let's see. What was I gonna grab? Let me see. It says, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. Okay? And that's what we are. We're that light of the Gentiles. And talking about the light of the Gentiles of Israel, okay? Because the heathen Gentiles, they're not going to receive this light. The light also represents understanding, okay? And, like I say, the heathen, they'll receive the darkness, the lies, right? That's why they have pagan Christianity. That's why you have, heathen, which are so-called white people, so-called, Chinese, so-called, those Indians with the dots in their foreheads, those type of Indians. Not talking about Native American Indians, but those other heathen nations, they don't receive the light because the light condemns them, because this truth, this understanding, this life is exclusive towards the Israelites, who are you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, if you're a heathen, if your seed line goes back to the heathen, there's not a chance that you're going to be of the elect. Okay, you're not going to have the light. So this right here, this Gentiles, for a light of the Gentiles, this is talking about our people, the Israelites. Okay, let's go to 2 Peter 2:9. It says, Yahweh knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations. Oh wait, this ain't the one. Salakia. I grabbed the wrong. I meant to go to 1 Peter. Actually, what was I reading there? 2 Peter 2:9. Let me see. I'll read that either way. The Spirit wanted it to come out. Yahweh knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations. And who are the godly? The godly are the elect. And to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Okay? The unjust are the wicked of our people, the 2/3. Okay, now let's go to what I was trying to get originally, is 1 Peter 2:9. All right, 1 Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation. See, it's talking about a holy nation. It means separate. Holy means separate. So the nation of Israel is a separate nation. Okay, so the Gentiles that receive the light are going to be the Gentiles of Israel. Okay, and a lot of pagan Christians don't realize or understand that sometimes when the scripture speaks about a Gentile, it's actually talking about the Israelites. Okay, because we became Gentiles during the multiple captivities that we've been in as a punishment from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So we are that holy nation, okay? A peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. All right? So showing you that only the Israelites are going to be the ones who are able to be called into the marvelous light. Because how would a heathen Gentile, how would they receive the light when the light condemns them? The light exposes them, right? Like if you're in a dark place and light is shining and you're doing wickedness, then everybody's going to see your wickedness, right? You're exposed, That's like metaphorically speaking what this ministry is. We're exposing all the darkness of the world because we are the light. The Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, has brought us into this marvelous light, which is this truth, having the true understanding of the Holy Scriptures and understanding who the holy people are. We're, holy, like I said, it means separate. So if you're separate, it means you're a nation separated from all the other wicked nations, okay? So we are the holy people, the so-called Black, Latino, and Native Americans. But 2/3 of our people, there's that portion of the wicked is 2/3 from our own people, because they stay, their mindset, their philosophy, their spirit is walking in the spirit of the heathen Gentiles, okay? They take heed to heathen customs and traditions. They don't hearken or listen to the things that we teach. They don't even believe we're the holy people, right? A lot of them. I mean, you got some 2/3. They understand that they're Israelites, but they're still 2/3 because they don't fully repent in their heart or in their mind, in their spirit. All right. So let's go back to Isaiah 42. Verse 6 or verse 7. To open, well, let me read the end of, I'll read 6. I, Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness and will hold thine hand and will keep thee and give thee for a covenant. A covenant means agreement of the people, for a light of the Gentiles, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. All right. And I read it yesterday in Revelation. Come out of her, my people. The prison is Babylon, America right now. Right. Because this place is, it keeps our people in darkness. Our people are basically in a spiritual prison, because this whole place, everything about this place that it propagates, everything that it teaches, everything that it encourages is straight wickedness. Okay. Adultery is not punished. You don't get punished being an adulterer here. You don't get punished. There's a lot of things that this place allows that is contrary to the laws of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay. So this place is like a big ass prison, and only the elect are the ones who are freed, spiritually, mentally. Verse 8, I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. All right. And so what do you have here in Babylon, America? They allow you to worship different gods. They have freedom, that thing called freedom of religion. When you have a freedom of religion, that's why our people are going, and under every green tree, they're going and, becoming spiritual whores, committing idolatry. It talks about graven images here in this verse. What Catholics are known for, worshiping graven images. They sit there and bow down to images or statues of Mary, the Virgin Mary, and this and that and the other, right? And not to mention those statues that they bow to, they're cut in the image of Edomites. All right. Like if you go to the Catholic Church, what are you going to see? You're going to see a big ass. In most cases, in most Catholic churches, you're going to see on their altar a big ass cross with fucking cracker Jesus on it. And that's you giving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's glory to another. You ain't supposed to be involved in that, man. But our people are stiff-necked and hard-headed, and just really set up spiritually that Yahweh has set them up to fail. Right? He hasn't given them the light. That's why they're still, doing those foolish things. All right. Verse 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And how does he tell you of them? He tells you through his prophets, his men. Right? His prophets are the ones who are rising early. Right? Let's get that real quick. We'll go to Jeremiah 35 and 15. I have sent also unto you all my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, Return ye now every man from his evil way, and amend your doings, and go not after other gods to serve them, and ye shall dwell in the land which I have given you to you and your fathers, but ye have not inclined your ear, nor hearkened unto me. Right? So the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai set up they're men. We're here, right in the flesh, right in front of you. But like I say, our people are hard-headed, sottish, evildoers. They don't want to listen to the mouth of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? They want to stay in the philosophies and in the madness that they've been taught while they were in their captivity, while they're still yet in captivity. Okay. And you see it all the time, man. Our people are fucking lost in the sauce over here in Babylon, America. Right? And you won't see it if you're not, if you're not the spirit of the elect. You're not going to see it. You're going to sit there and you're going to look at the Lord's prophets like we're the bad guys. You're going to look at us like we're the evil ones, just like they did to Yahweh Shai, right? And during the time of the Romans, our people they didn't. A lot of the people of Israel, the Israelites, didn't receive Yahweh Shai in the same fashion. They're not set up to receive us, the prophets in this age. Let's see here. What verse did I leave off at? It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And the new thing, like this is called another way to explain the truth coming forth on the earth is new wine. Right? Wine is a representation, a metaphor for doctrines. Okay, and we have the new wine. We have the it's a new doctrine to those who hear it, because you've been taught lies. You've been taught old, like they say, old wives' tales, fables, lies. So now this truth is a new thing, right? It's that new wine. Like the Bible says, you can't put the new wine in old wineskins, right? Let's get that real quick. It's in Matthew 9. And 17. It says, neither do men put new wine in old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. Right? And that word new, it means refreshed. Okay? So, it's a metaphor. You put that new wine in the old wineskins, and that those wineskins will burst. It's not going to hold the new wine. Right? The bottles perish. Let me see if I can get this in Mark real quick. The book of Mark 2:22, it says, and no man putteth new wine into old bottles, else the new wine doth burst the bottles, and the wine is spilled, and the bottles will be marred. But new wine must be put into new bottles. So only the elect are going to be those new bottles who it's going to actually, hold that doctrine, hold that wine, hold that truth. Like your old, your grandmama or your grandpappy that are stuck on, pagan doctrines. You got your big mama who's all about, Jesus, cracker Jesus, or you got the old grandpappy, he's stuck on Jesus de Christos, right? And you come in this age where the Lord has set up his prophets in abundance on the street corners and on the internet. Well, those type of old bottles, they can't receive this new wine because they've been taught and it's been beaten into their head, into their hard heads since basically since fucking the conquistadors, basically since our people were conquered by the so-called white man. And now here we are with the true wine, the true doctrine. And they're gonna, this is gonna not sit well in those bottles, right? It'll cause them to burst. See? So let's go back to Isaiah. It says, let me see. Verse 10, sing unto Yahweh a new song, and his praise from the end of the earth, ye that go down to the sea, and all that is therein, the isles and the inhabitants thereof. And that, again, this is that new song. We're telling you the truth because now we have the life breathed upon us. We have the understanding, right? Okay, so our, this truth started coming out in Babylon, America. It started to spring forth, right? In probably around the 60s during the time of Abba Bivens, Elder Abba Bivens, which, you didn't have the internet, media didn't travel like it does now. You see? But now the media is got the internet. You got, information travels quickly. We're living in a time that they call the information age. So now that new song is being sung all over the earth, and it travels quickly. Okay. And that new song is it's out here. People can't. You can't avoid knowing who the Israelites are now. All right. You have Edomites who know about the Israelites. You have all these different people that are seeing this new song being sung by the Lord's true servants, the prophets. And this is why the earth is being turned upside down, just like in the time of Acts, right? The apostles, it said that they were turning the world upside down because people are astonished at this true doctrine. They're like, oh, I never knew the so-called white man was the wicked, the evil, the man in the Bible, the son of perdition, right? They've been taught lies here, but we're singing that new song, right? It tells you in Revelation 14 that the prophets are the only ones who can learn that song, in its entirety. Yeah, you have the 1/3, which are the elect, the remnant. They're going to hearken to the song, meaning they're going to listen to the song. They're going to believe the song. But the prophets, the 144,000, are the ones who are going to, we're the ones who get this song, the entire song. Let me see. Let's see here. John 15:22, it says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. All right. So Yahweh Shai, if he didn't come and do what he had to do, we'd still be in our fucking pagan Christianity. We wouldn't have this understanding. Right? We would still be lost in the sauce like the 2/3 of our people. But because Yahweh Shai came, now there's no excuse. You don't have a cloak for your sin because the prophets are set up on the street corners and on the internet. You don't have a cloak for your sin, meaning there's no covering for your sin. There's no excuse if you're still walking around calling yourself a Catholic or a Christian, pagan Christian. Well, guess what? You're guilty because the Lord, see the phone chime on that, because the Lord has sent his prophets. He set us up. So now he sent Yahweh Shai first, then he Yahweh Shai did what he had to do. He fulfilled his purpose, and part of his fulfillment was so that we could have this understanding. Okay? Now the phone's acting up. Let's see. Okay, let's get back to that.